Let me just use the time until the other persons come on.
Um, so some Sundays I'll see Mr. Rowe talking in the
Mm,
Zoom church session,
yeah.
but he has up like an office background. So I don't know if he uses our green screen or if it's a background that he created and then he projects, so that
Okay.
when he's shown, it looks like he's in an office space.
Yeah. Well, that I'll definitely cover tonight. Um, that is all right. That is a feature of Zoom. All right. You see my background how it look busy, kind of busy.
Mm-hmm.
If I should click on right now, it's on none. In the settings section, background and filters. You see it. You have general here. You have video, audio, share screen, and virtual. I mean background and filters. Sorry. It it defaults on none. But if I should select any one of these pictures, this for example, you notice it automatically gets rid of most things. But guess what happened? If you look down here, so the reason why it doesn't get rid of everything is that I have selected here that I have a green screen. You see it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's letting that part of the background show.
Yeah. So that's what it's doing. It's using this color, the green color here, so and it's looking for anywhere in the image that's green that it deems to be green and gets rid of it. If I should uncheck this, what Zoom will do is that Zoom will try to get rid of everything else apart from my figure. So let me uncheck that I have a green screen. Hold on. And you see that? So it took a little time to switch over.
There's a green space above your head.
Yeah, so so you can see the best way to work it is to have an actual solid color or a green screen. The reason why they say use green is because green is furthest away from the skin tones. So it's assumed that once you use the color green, then it won't be confused with your skin. The other
Okay.
the other popular color that's used is blue, like in movies. So it's blue and green because the same thing with blue. Blue is far away from the from the person's complexion. But green is preferred over blue is because green is more it manages light better, whereas you need more light to shine onto the blue in order to get the effect. But
Mm.
if you watch movies, how they make movies, they mostly use blue, and when they're using a background, a artificial virtual background, they mostly use green and blue. So since I have a solid background behind me, a relatively solid, I'm gonna select I have a green screen. Yeah, and you notice it does a better job
Mm-hmm.
because I can move around and you hardly see anything. No, all right. If you notice some shadows, you notice under my which arm now? Under the
Right.
arm here. You notice some shadows are there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I have a light in front of me. I don't have any light in the background. Now, in order to get a better thing, I'm gonna add another light. Because usually when you're working with green screen, it's best to have two lights. One light in the subject, which is you, or you and somebody, and another light in the background. So I add another light in the background, and not a good job. But if I shine the light onto the background, it'll do a better job of getting rid of the shadows. Because really shadows, it's really my body forming shadows to the screen. So you can imagine that if I light up the screen by itself, it'll do a better job at it won't be affected by my shadow so much.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a
Um
question, sir. So
yeah.
you want the light that's on the person should be directly in front of the person and as much as possible illuminating their whole front body. And then you have another light that is just strictly pointing at the background behind the individual.
Yeah, well, partially yes. Yeah, about 80%. The light doesn't have to be in front of the person because
Okay.
the light can be you use there's no set place to put the lights. You put the light based on one, how you can set it, and two, how is the best way to illuminate the person. Say for example, suppose I had a window beside me over here, and that window was pushing a lot of light in my face, and but because of that light, it was casting a shadow over the other side of my face. Then
Okay.
it wouldn't make sense I put the light in front of me. It would make more sense I put the light towards this angle here. You understand?
I get
Yeah, but the rest of what you say, yes, the objective of the light in front here, which I call the key light. Key light means that the main light is that it's to illuminate the person, the subject, whether one person or a group of persons.
All right. So when we had learned about lighting, at iCreate, they had mentioned, I think, 3 lights.
Yeah,
Do we need to press for that 3 lights in this scenario?
yeah,
Because I
yeah,
think there's one supposed to be above the person's head, and then you have your key lights, and then I think there's another one from the opposite side of the key lights, right?
yeah. The three lights that they spoke about, it's a type of lighting system, which I call a 3-point lighting system. But the thing about lights is the thing about these rules is that you have standard rules, but also we can be bound by them. Because my setup here says it's just because you don't see it. I can have 3 lights here, so really they say one light is to be at the 45 degree to the person's face, and that's to be the key light, the main light. And because that main light is the brightest one, it's casting shadows. So the other light, they call it the fill light. It really fills up the dark areas. So it mustn't be as bright, but it's filling up the dark areas of the face. I can't even demonstrate here. So let me turn off. Let me turn off my light and see if I can demonstrate. Turn off one of my lights. All right, part of my head cut off. Um, but if you notice right away, one part of my face is dark. You notice?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, because it's dark for two reasons. One, the room is dark, and the other reason is that the light that's over this direction is casting a shadow as forming over this other side of my face.
Mhm.
So the other light now, if I should introduce another light, let me try use my phone. So that over there would be the key light. Key only means the main light. So wherever the main light is, that's called a key light.
Mhm.
And then another light now to fill up these dark areas. If I use my phone, you notice my phone start filling it up. This is called a fill light.
Okay. Mhm.
All right. So is and then the other light, no, the third light is called a hair light or a rim light. And where that light is now, it's behind the subject. And the purpose of that is that it kind of forms a rim, or it cuts you out of the background. Then it light up the person from the back. So it pulls you away from the background.
And that would also light up your green screen in the process.
It can, but it doesn't have to.
Okay.
It can. But if you have a small space, that can happen.
Because I'm
And
trying to figure out the positioning of the lights that I need to get in order to have a clear image for children's church, as I'm asking.
yeah,
If we would need a head, something from above,
yeah.
as well as something from in front.
You see that backlight, that rim light, the one at the back?
Mhm.
I've found that it's not absolutely necessary. The main light is the one at the front, the key light. And probably secondary is the secondary light, the fill light. But
Mhm.
but look at this now. If your key light is directly in front of you, you don't need no secondary light. You don't need no fill light
Right. I understand.
because it's filling up your image. It's just that they use two different lights because most things in the world work with shadows. So if you have something that don't have no shadow, it looks artificial. That's why they mostly use the direct light, like when somebody's talking directly into the camera, or in commercials. Them nice those fun commercials and so on, that it it's okay to veer away from reality to some extent. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So that the
I
most
do.
use those like in comedies and so on that no matter you just fill the whole place with light. But when you're trying to make things real as possible, you try to work with the shadows.
Okay.
The other thing too is, and it's an issue I know that the children's church is having. I have a this green screen. Ideally, the green screen should be behind you because I bought so much of this cheap fabric, and I kind of moved it around a little. There's a sheet. There's a part of it that's right beside me. And what's happening now is that the light that's on now is coming from that direction. It's bouncing off the screen cloth and it's bouncing onto my face. And that is why a piece of my head look like it a cut off. You notice? Where is it? Over here. So you
Yeah.
notice?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's shining onto my face.
So the
The
light is bouncing off of the green cloth and shining on your face.
yeah, green color is bouncing on my face.
Mm.
And because green is bouncing on it, and Zoom is looking at it and say, oh, that's green as well, and
So I
taking
have a
it out of
question.
my face. Yeah.
So suppose we use a green filter on our light. Then the green cloth will absorb the green light
Yeah.
instead of reflecting it. So I
No.
could get like a
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, teach me. Yeah. Will it?
because
I
I
don't know.
understand from physics is that once the colors is that objects reflect lights.
Yeah. That I don't
No,
need it.
sorry. Objects, no, that's not true. Objects reflect light that's in them. No, I still gonna reflect it.
Yeah,
I'm
going to
not
reflect
gonna
it more.
it's still
What
gonna
some
reflect
people
it.
do, what some people do, Mr. Stewart, is that they use an actual green light to light up the green screen. Probably because of that same reason that you just pointed out. So instead of shining a white light on the background and it's gonna just use the green out of the whole light. They just put a green filter over the light and just blur it onto the green screen and it lights it up even better.
Okay.
You understand? Um
Because then that green will be reflecting forward, and that's what we want to happen.
it's not so much the reflection aspect of it, but I guess that's what happens. All I know is that the green. All right, right now I'm using a light, a normal LED light to light up the background. If I,
Mm-hmm.
were if I were to use, I used to some with the shadows, you see them so much. If I
No,
were,
I don't see them.
if I were to use so on under my arm here, so
Yeah, I see it too.
if I were to use a green light instead of that LED light, it would do a much better job. The other thing about Zoom is able to select not only the green but any other color. So if you can't find a green cloth, suppose you had a blue cloth behind you. Um, Zoom this feature, the pick the color feature, you can actually click on it as I'm doing now, and I can actually select a color. If I should click on this red, you see what happen? Instead of getting rid of the green, it's actually getting rid of red. Anywhere it's a red, even getting rid of some of the red in my shirt.
Yeah, and on your face, because red makes up your skin tone as well.
Yeah, and if you notice, you're seeing some through my hand because of the
Right.
same reason. So you're not restricted to green. It's just that, as I said before, green is very far away from the color of our complexion, for our skin. That is why green is preferred. One of the reasons, the other reason is that it does a good job of dealing with light. It works. It absorbs light much better than blue, which is the other preferred color. As it pertains to the background, Kadeen, you just choose a background that fits whatever you're doing. So as I said before, you have virtual backgrounds. I'm using images here. You can use a comical image. You can even use a video. So this is a video that I have on this. Click on it, hope it works. Yeah. So based on what you're doing, you can even use a video.
I don't
So
see any options in my virtual background. Where do you get them?
All right, there are two ways you can do it. Right now, if you click on this plus button up at the top right here, you see it?
Sorry, mine was blocking yours. Go again. Oh yeah,
Yes.
the plus button.
Yeah, if you click on the plus button, you can select from your computer. As a matter of fact, when you click on the plus, it says add image or add video.
Mm-hmm.
So once you click on, if I want a picture, I say add image, and then
Oh.
it will browse my computer.
So, Pastor, I have a question.
Yeah.
All right. Suppose we're at children's church. We have our moderator, and I am behind the computer. All right. So let's say I'm using my phone, the Droid camera on my
Yeah.
phone, and we have some gifts that could also be converted into videos. Suppose I decide to use one of them as a virtual background, like the welcome
Mm-hmm.
video as a virtual background. And then when we transition into another, I change it to another background.
Mm-hmm.
Can I do that?
Yeah, you can do it. Or is it that I'm not understanding your question? Because you just saw me switch backgrounds a while ago. So I might not be getting your question. I might not be getting
I
what you're
saw
really
you
asking
do
me.
it.
Pardon me?
I guess hello, you hearing me now?
Yeah, man, I'm hearing you.
I guess I am just thinking about doing this, but I think in my own mind, it sounds more like, in essence, I'm behind a camera and I am the one also controlling the background versus what we have had most times where the moderators come in with their own device
Mm-hmm.
and they just set a particular background. I'm just thinking now that probably if I controlled their device, if their image was fed into my device,
Yeah.
I could change the various backgrounds and they would be in it versus having their small image and the big share screen. You understand what I'm saying? Because
I get you.
we share, you're right. That's what I'm wondering. A question though, how would you video the person? Because most of the laptops have webcam.
Yeah. I have a webcam now, Mrs. Sullivan.
Most of the laptops have a built-in camera. Better stop.
Yeah. It's
So
two answers to that, Mrs. Sullivan. One is Mrs. Stewart just mentioned it, but it's not very popular. But that's why you never pick up on it. You can actually use your phone as a camera. So if you have a USB cable, you can
mm-hmm,
hook it up. You can hook it up to your phone, to your computer, and so
mm-hmm.
you have the flexibility of this thing. Let me try and demonstrate. You have the flexibility of your phone. So instead of it,
The video,
yeah. So wherever
and
this,
you, and then you interacting through the computer.
yeah. So
Oh,
if I have this connected, if I had the
mm-hmm.
time here, so I think it's even connected. No, it's not connected. If it was connected, it would have come up. I could have actually used my phone here, so I could have used my phone as a camera as well.
Oh,
Yeah. And
and you can
so
use a microphone on the phone too.
yeah, you can use a microphone. Let me bring up the software that
Oh,
no
so
no
you'd
but
use the phone to video as the camera and the microphone, and then set the controls for the person behind the computer.
yeah. So this program here, DroidCam,
Droid cam. Okay.
yeah,
Oh,
it don't
droid
have
cam.
anything connected no. Does it though? It would be cool if I did. No, I don't have anything. So if I had this hooked up, I could demonstrate it. So
Okay.
yeah, you have the flexibility there. So 'cause the reason why we had to find out these solutions was when we were about to stream, we never have no camera, so we had to look at alternatives. Yeah. So
Okay, sir. Thanks for the info.
yeah, man, no problem. So and it's called Dried Camera. It's free. There's a paid version that has better resolution, but this is pretty good. The free version is pretty good. I
But
always
there's
have it. Even huh?
but I'm just letting her know that there's a lot of setting up that needs to be done once it's downloaded in order for it to work,
Yeah.
which is
But
what
how,
you did to my devices, sir, to make
yeah,
sure it would actually work.
yeah. It's not really a lot of setup. It's one particular setup, but it's not straightforward. But it can be done. Just give me a sec. Let me show you the light that I have. I bought this shade right here, so at Super Value. It's about $1,000 for it at the time. The price really fluctuates. Cause one time I see it at 3,000. I hold off until it gone back to 1,000. So I buy this, of course, because so this amplifies the light. Not amplify it.
Spread it out.
Yeah, magnifies. Yeah, spread it out. Yeah, and I have this now. What this does, it kind of softens the light,
The
so it's not
harshness
so,
of the light.
yeah, it's not so harsh, and it helps to spread it out as well. And this bulb here, so I bought this bulb for about $300. It's about a 20-watt bulb, a LED bulb. So in other words, this is cheap compared to the ones that are being sold online.
So, question: the clip on the back of it, you bought that
Mhm.
separately, or it came with
It came with it. This
Okay.
is yeah. So the clamp is very handy. It's very
What is
stiff.
that called?
I couldn't tell you in a Jalen. Just go down there and ask them. Or look it up on the internet and you'll see. Of course, different people will call it different thing. But we're pretty cheap. Pretty cheap for what it does for me. Cause I can hook it up anywhere. My house isn't built for this sort of stuff, but I'm able to hook it there and so on. And maybe I have to put up a stand of some sort or something. So lighting is really key. Lighting is key when you're doing this sort of stuff. Any other question in this area? Realize I'm gonna now stick to my agenda.
Not right
No,
now.
I'm good. Yeah, I'm good.
Okay.